it is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. And it says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." And for me, that was very um, it spoke to me this morning a lot, because I kept asking myself, why do I let fear win? Why do I keep letting fear win? Why aren't I taking these trades? I see a setup and I don't take the trade. Why? But this Bible verse, it's very clearly pointed out that God did not give us a spirit of fear. Fear does not come from God. It comes from the devil, right? When you are fearful, it prevents you from walking the path that God has intended for you. It prevents you from receiving the blessings that God has for you. Think of that in the story in Matthew chapter 14, where I think it's chapter 14, where it talks about Peter walking on water. Jesus was walking on the water, and Peter was like, "Oh, yeah, that's you. Okay, I'm gonna come out there too." And he's walking on water just like Jesus. And then the second he started focusing on his surroundings and what was happening, and he got afraid, and that's when he started to sink, right? When you take a trade, you're stepping out in faith, and it's a 50-50. It could win or it could lose, but either way, God's got you either way. And so when you start getting fearful, or you say, "Oh, I'm not going to take that trade because, what if it doesn't go the way I want it to?" Or, it's a risky setup. It's a good setup, but it's a little risky. I just made money, and that was me. I just made money today. I don't want to lose that money, so I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm not gonna play around with this trade, right? And then that trade ended up going 140 ticks in the direction that I wanted it to go. Like, fear prevented me from allowing a trade to play out. That fear was from the devil, right? The devil did not want me to enjoy the riches that God had planned for me, right? The devil doesn't want you to win, right? He does not want you to succeed, right? And so what I will say is that when I kept this verse in mind, especially this morning, because I've been struggling with not taking trades. I call out a setup. I'm like, "Oh, that's a beautiful setup. I should enter there." And then I don't. And it's been happening over and over and over. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Right? And so I wrote it out and I was listening to another YouTuber, and I'll try to link his video below if I can. I don't know how to work the whole YouTube business, but he was talking about the same thing about, faith versus fear, and which one's basically, for me, I was thinking, like, which one is controlling me? Definitely fear was controlling me, and I don't want that. I do not want fear. I do not want the devil ruling over this. Like, I want to do so many great things for the Lord, and fear is preventing me from having access to the riches that God has for me and the blessings, so that I can bless other people. Like, we are blessed so that we can bless other people, and that's what I want to do. And it's like, I can't do that if I'm allowing fear to control me. And so I wrote it out on my wall, not on the wall. I put it on paper, then I stuck it to the wall, and it says faith versus fear. And then it has a list of Bible verses, and so it has 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, and then it has some other Bible verses. And so I read those. I sat down at my computer, and this is what happened. So sat down at my why am I there? Okay, I sat down at my computer, and I had drawn this pink line out, and this is why I drew it. So I'll show you on the 1 hour time frame. I drew this out because this was a previous zone of resistance, right? Previous resistance zone we had broken through, chopped around it. So there was a lot of buying and selling here, right? And then some indecision. And then we finally broke away. We came back up to it, sold down. So I'm like, we broke through it. Nice breakthrough. So I'm like, okay, so if we come down to a level, we're probably going to come down somewhere here. This is the line that I drew last night. Okay, so I drew this out last night, and I set an alert. And this is my alert. It said, look for possible long, high risk. So it's kind of risky because we could just break right through it, but that could be a good level to go long from. That's what I did last night. Then this morning I sat down, I said, okay, are we choosing faith or are we choosing fear today? And I said, we're choosing faith. So what happened? I looked at my little chart and we were here and I'm like, okay, well, that could be our tap. We came very close to it, within a few ticks from it. So that could be our tap. So I entered and I got a late entry, probably somewhere in here, right? Well, we came up and I was like, yay. And then we crashed down. I was like, oh, darn it. And then we're here. We're right on the line. I'm like, okay, either we're going to sail off of this or we're just going to break through and just keep going down. So I said, what are we choosing? Faith? I looked at my wall. I said, we choosing faith? We choosing fear today. I said, we choose faith. Okay, so I hit enter, right? I entered the trade and you can see what happened. Now, I didn't take all of this. Yeah, that was a perfect example of faith winning over fear. Now I just have to bring that every single time that I trade. And this is a nice reminder that I need to keep my eye on the Lord, right? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of the other things will follow. All of those things will be added unto you, right? Don't seek the wealth. Don't seek the riches, right? Just seek God. Have you ever heard of the sky?